Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. We might have a little bit of an interruption. I'm not sure. Doug is still working on remodeling the kitchen, installing a new floor and all kinds of different stuff. So he took pictures. I'll probably throw some of them over on my Facebook page if you're interested in our progress. And so anyway, tomorrow I'm going to be I'm going to go in deep on the different ways Satan or the satanic I just don't see. I don't hate to say just Satanists or Masonically inclined. There's so many affiliates to the dark force that we'll just call them the dark cabal. We're the light cabal, and they're the dark ones. So, yeah, tomorrow, I think you might be surprised at some of the different aspects. Maybe not some of you if you've listened to me for a while, but I started listening to one of my Facebook friends was recommended by Miss Ruby Diamond Star, I think is her name, and anyway, Ruby recommended his channel to me. And so I went and looked. It's interesting. There's probably a few things about like different shapes or something I may not know. I don't think so. But I thought I'd say really quick that for him, Stuart, I think you say his last name is McIntosh, or yeah, I think that's it. I grew up around some Macintoshes. Could be. If I mispronounced your name, I'm sorry. The Skull and Bones is sort of a cover cult for the Freemasons and the meaning of the Mind of Skull technology that is used with the ruler and the compass. Is you put them together, you have a protractor, and that indicates the circumference of something. When we're born, they right away measure our heads. I'm telling you, it's been for thousands of years, but we'll just go with hundreds of years. They've been measuring the skulls of babies to estimate the progress and the growth of that skull for the electronics of the mind to skull technology. That is nothing new. Either electronically or in the ether, and that's what I'm going to go in deep about tomorrow. So I don't care who says what, I'm telling you what the G on the Masonic, that control God over everybody with the thought process, that's what I call thought projection. So I'll talk more on that tomorrow. My topic today is mental health care professionals that have their material directed towards the next generations and what they're doing to sully the relationships of families and marriages. So I'll get to that in a minute. Hey, even some of us have had some crappy relationships or marriages. It doesn't make us sour on the whole thing. We still wish well for people. You see a couple and you're thinking, that's lovely, and you really are. Unless you're a bitter old jealous thing and you're just like, oh, they can't have any sunshine. I don't have any, so, yeah, you know what I mean. Like I tell some of these old rag bags I know, Let them girls have their day in the sun. Didn't you have yours? Scrape your makeup off, you old hose bag, and let these little girls shine and back down, you know? It's like, what are you doing? You know? Do you know when to grow up or not? You know? So, okay, so there's psychologists and psychiatrists that are pushing like a trifecta situation or more within a marriage, like the like extramarital affairs and that type of thing. Used to be considered cheaters, liars, maybe swingers or whatever, adulterers, and definitely going against the Word of God is what these people are promoting for the younger generations, and that's very concerning to me. So I'm just shooting the breeze with you here, but that's really all my channel is about. I'm not out here to really, unless it's concerning matters of the heart and mind and soul and body, that I'm. And somebody asked for my credentials. I do have a video in what I'm doing right now in my life with my credentials and my license in my state. And I have more attributes to my life. So I wouldn't worry about it if I were like somebody asking me that. Unless you're just interested in hanging around with somebody that has a pretty big brain and a really big heart, you're probably in the wrong spot. Anyway, so especially if you're a doctor of psychology directing extramarital affairs to the younger generation out there, then, metaphorically speaking, you need to have your head chopped off, you know. And have I written a book? Well, it got wiped off halfway through on my computer, and no, I have not, but I do have papers on morgellons.org with my findings in microbiology. So I really don't need a book to blow my own horn as an autobiography of what type of narcissist I am and trying to make money off of people for that. Thank you anyway, but I'm the one that got bicarbonate soda out there for everybody about 15 years ago here with my findings and what it would take to get that combination of parasites that make this organism under control, what it would take. So that's my work. So I'm not really watching somebody for the body of their work or what they think they know. I'm watching them to see what they're saying to everybody else, because my heart's not worried about the money. So, and what do I have and what do I do? Well, I got a place and land that's paid for and my own well water, Mr. City Guy. So yeah, I got a little bit of accomplishments under my belt. I can sit around my own bonfire and play my own guitar. I'd rather do that than write a book, stuffed shirt. So anyway, people playing God. Like I told them, I don't care who plays God, but when you're harming other people, I'm going to say something about it. So I really don't. I give people a chance, but if you're still that stupid, because you're a cheater or your wife is in your relationship, doesn't mean that God wants us. And yes, there is a God, and no, you did not make me and everything. The Almighty did, and you are not Him. And you aren't in control of this world either, which you're going to find out shortly here. So, all of you, well, if you were in my country, you'd be treasonous, but to God, you're just a stupid slut. So, with all your intelligence, how you lack, and you write a book, what are you trying to do? Glorify it? That your emotional equivalence is that of a 2-year-old? Or. Oh, that's a seal, by the way, if you didn't know. Whew. So, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about today. I did not mean to offend anybody there, and I really am not trying to provoke or trigger anybody. That is not, well, sort of is my nature, but I have not been trying to do that at all. And yeah, people that know me, you know that. If somebody gets under my skin, well, that'd be a bad place to be. Takes a lot. I'm not going to say I'm thick-skinned. No, I don't have more layers of skin like a man does. We have 2 or 3 layers less than men do, like our bone density and the girth of our muscles and that type of thing is entirely different, and the shape of them, for the most part. I can't say entirely, but yeah, there's distinct differences that somebody that isn't insane can describe. Be like, oh, she looks a lot like her dad. Of course, he's got a bigger skull, but the resemblance, that type of thing. But there's distinct differences in the male and female body, like our chromosomes, things like that, that's men don't have or women don't have. Stop pretending you're shit, for God's sakes. You're crazy. Retarded. It's unbelievable. Something that's provable, like childbirth. And gee, if I grow a mustache tomorrow, I'm still a birthing person. No, stupid. You're a dumb woman is what you are. What are you going to do? Have a penis up above your vagina? Sew one on so you can say, I'm the Baphomet today? That's impressive. Wow. And then people wouldn't have to cheat. They could just go themselves like they should. Is there really a debate with anybody whether or not God forgives the fallen angels and Satan? Some people think that that's a possibility. These entities had free will and knew all that was and decided to go against the goodness that is in existence. And they're trying to diminish it entirely. So no, there is no forgiveness or there is no remorse. Of course not. That's stupid, isn't it? Be like if you had a dog that bit you, you wouldn't keep walking into the same house with the dog that bit you, and if it was yours, you know what you'd have to do, right? Especially for kids. Anyway. Got a little bit of my important paperwork I had to do, made a phone call, and was waiting for one, and then just hung my phone up. It's getting later. It's like, yeah, no, get my business done in the morning, and then I have free time. Enough free time, anyway. I'm going to make a macaroni hot dish for supper, just with ragu and noodles and hamburger meat. Or that now I'm sounding like Tally Faye in the kitchen with Tally Faye. She calls her stuff hamburger meat, ground beef. So it's just funny. I enjoy her. She's well, they're out on it. They have a little farm, and well, I don't know how little it is, but they have a couple of gardens for vegetables and chickens, and they're out in the country, and she cooks and makes videos, and I like her personality. She's the kind of person that just takes food like she has, whatever's around, and makes something spectacular with it. It's like, wow, that's, and talking to people and telling them, I love her. She'll go, don't be scared. She'll go to make or put something in, and I do it like this, and her little, don't be scared. It's so cute. Anyway. Like me, an older lady, so, yeah, she's neat. So anyway, yesterday I made, or it was the day before, I had leftovers, but I had used the salsa that I had made, and mixed it with cheddar cheese, and took flour tortillas and rolled them up into, they're usually about the size of your thumb. They're called taquitos. And so I made taquitos. I brushed them with olive oil, baked them, and flipped them over, and they get crispy if you know them round things. And you can dunk them in. I did dunk them in sour cream the first night, but last night I ate half of one cold, and it was good. So I had two more that were cold, and they were really good. I have never had a cold taquito before, but yeah. They were great, but tonight I'm just making that macaroni, so yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that if you're new here, this is kind of what my channel is, unless I just have a set something that I'm going to talk about, and tomorrow it's just going to be like I do talk, just like we're talking, but I'm going to try to explain all the things that I've learned through the decade. And being new here, I was taken into not just one time, but one time in particular, like I was writing in the book of Gematria. The original one was handwritten transcripts, and then typed out and put into graphs and whatnot, and all the schematics on different crafts that they have and do, and different religions and the different Masonically inclined inserts in all of them, and genetics and all kinds of things. I mean, everything they have their fingers in is what I was instructed in. And although my adopted dad did end up paying dearly for helping me, and that's what he was doing because of my bloodline, and a friend of his named Paul. I think Saul became Paul, but yeah, I'm not going to mention the last name because, and even the lodge that used to be no longer exists. It's been a long time ago. But yeah, I learned a lot just being raised around all of those people and interacting with them continuously. It was my whole life, my whole childhood, until I went and got myself emancipated. Really, mainly, I wanted to go into the military as a conscientious observer to become a vet and play in the Minnesota State Orchestra with my flute. That's really all I cared about at that time. and my adopted parents wouldn't help me succeed in that. I had went and taken the Air Force test. They wouldn't let me go, so I went and got emancipated because the amount of the insanity that I was forced to live around was excruciating. I had ran away 21 times before the age of 15, and even ended up in an adult jail because I wouldn't tell them who I was, and for a couple weeks. And different times I've been through some. I slept in ditches, I slept in the woods, I slept in cars. People didn't used to lock their cars like they do now, but yeah, I'd go to a used car lot and hop in the back seat till the sun came up, something like that. And sometimes I'd find work and sometimes I wouldn't. One time I went 2 weeks without eating, but anything but go back to that in the house, you know? So anyway, yeah. And then they had a way of inserting themselves in my life and getting near my children, which wasn't cool at all. I finally just broke ties. It's no. I took them to court too, all kinds of things, had a restraining order put on them. And so, to say the least, the dark ball does not like me, and I don't like them. But guess what? I don't care, because my mind and my willpower is stronger, and you're going to find that out shortly here, because I have an army of intelligent, good people that actually create things, not your lame-ass, satanic guided, ignorant, infantile, forceful, tyrannical, ugly personalities like that. So I think everybody's cute. It's just that you're fucking ugly inside. So, and I don't care what you say about me, okay? I really don't. So, sure, I wished everybody liked me, but you're not going to. And first, I'd want to like you anyway. So if I don't like you, or if you don't like me, I'm certain I'm not going to like you anyway. So the feeling's mutual. We're cool with that. Stay away from the kids. Shut your big mouth towards the younger generation, and I won't say anything to you. But as a mental health care professional myself, you can check it out if you know how. I'm not helping you with fucking shit. What I do right now, my credentials are in my videos. It's called my credentials. So, and that's what I do now. So anything else, but yeah, it's not a war of words. No, And yeah, God's behind my intelligence. I give all glory to God. So you're gonna try and beat that? You are stupid. You're not just a 2-year-old. None of us have been born yet, but you're underneath the feet of even the stupidest ones. Up in all that, in the belly of the beast. Enjoy yourself. Have a nice day while you have the flesh to do it in. Flesh bag. Nice trying insulting me, though. It was a really valiant attempt out of a supposed gentleman that would share his wife and not care if he's got the mind of a 2-year-old. Gee, what's next? You know? Well, that's what I would recommend for my granddaughters. Listen, baby girl, when you grow up, you find a man that's gonna treat you like shit, 'cause his mind can't stay still and his eyes don't know how to lower their gaze. You find one of them and you'll be able to become a cheater because he doesn't know how to interact with adult women, not real feminine adult women. There's a class of people. Maybe some of them have nice clothes and nice cars, but you know what I mean. That class in there. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'd recommend you go find Mr. Scumbucket and then teach your children how to find Mr. Scumbucket, too. Then we can have a world of fornicating bastards, you know? So anyway. Isn't it sweet when you don't have an image to maintain and you can say anything you fucking want? Isn't that cool? Maybe that's why God didn't want me to write a book. It's like, I already wrote the book, kid. Just go tell him how you feel. And I'm like, thanks, Pops. That's just what I'll do. Good idea. Obviously, I have the words to author something, don't I? Publish it. No, it was more important for me to help people for free. Maybe someday, like I say, maybe someday something will hit and I'll make a little money here or there or whatever. Whatever. You know? A lot of people aren't as fortunate or didn't work as hard as we have to achieve the things that we wanted in our lives. Not your life, our life. You know, like the ability to have livestock on a piece of land or whatever, like your own creek or running through your property, you know, something like that. Wouldn't that be cool if you were stuffed in a city? But maybe that's not your lifestyle. Yeah, it's pretty hard to find a narcissist supply down by the creek. There's some wild kitties out there. They're a little narcissistic, but you know, I tolerate that out of animals. That's to be expected. But people, it's like I liken it to a child that steals a cookie out of the cookie jar. That little brat knows he's doing wrong when he's doing it because God's telling him. We all do. And like a friend of mine says, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. So, no excuses for your evil bullshit. If you can pass a test in school of any kind, or wipe your nose, or learn how to tie your shoes, all those cool things, or not to punch your neighbor in the face because we're civil, then you know how to make choices every second of your life. Buckwheat. Oh, was that racist? No, I think it's a grain. Oh, no, 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 damn. Maybe it's a tear. It's a rip in the fabric of time. And it can never be repaired. In fact, everything God did, mankind can duplicate. Or screw up entirely. That's what they really think. They actually think that they're going to make it so we can't breathe up here. Right? Wow. But even in their own scriptures, it tells them the ones that they wrote to try and twist everything from teachings of people that did write from guidance, almighty guidance, even tried to twist that. But the ones of us that know how to read through that, or even to decode, which I do have a video on the decoding using the Webster Dictionary, Strong's Concordance, King James Bible. I know you've heard it before. And it's got to be a 1921 or older Webster dictionary. It has the little codes for, like, whether it's a noun, an adjective, what country it's from, whether there's a line above or under the noun, if it's in brackets, all coded like that. So, and the Masonic Bible and the Masonic Blue Book are not the same, and the King James Bible and the Masons Bible are not the same. But the parables that are written in the scriptures are the difference in the whole thing, of different ways and different aspects, different ways of looking at a situation, and how the words have been twisted through language and adding or taking away of vowels, like with the Hebrew language. So I'm going to get this uploaded, and I know you can hear Doug working away out there. So yeah, I got some of my work done earlier today, so a little bit. I'm going to get this uploaded. Everybody, thank you for joining me, and I'm not pleading with anybody that's going to promote your filthy ways towards a healthy society that keeps societies running smoothly without degenerate and ill-repute mindsets teaching our younger people. Without the younger generation having the strength and goodness within them, we'll have a crap society. We have to think like Lakota Sioux say, 7 generations in the future for our young and our offsprings. And at least if you can't do 7 generations, just think of the next few, if that's all you can do. But maybe think even 1,000 years in the future. What you're doing now, is that going to cause you for me to put a millstone around your neck and throw you in the sea for teaching children wrong? Yeah. Well, if you're talking to a 20-year-old and you're 40, 50, 60, you're talking to children. We're all God's children. And just stick that in your pipe and smoke it, or pour it down your throat. However you numb yourself. That's a good word. I'm going to leave it on that. Thanks for joining me. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.